What is up, everybody? Welcome to the daily vlog. Of course, this is Thursday, July 19th. And let's see here. What I wanted to get into today is I have a few little news stories to start things off with. And then we'll just go ahead and move on through. Let's see here. What did I want to start off with? Okay, so once again, this is VR Game Rankings Daily Vlog Live. My name is Anthony. Welcome to the stream. And what I thought about in terms of kind of having a format for this content, basically, is what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a couple of stories beforehand and have trailers for them and that sort of thing. And then we'll just kind of work through a few of these stories. And then we'll just take it from there and see how it goes. But normally, I think these shows are going to be more in the 30-minute to 45-minute range. But we've been going kind of long lately. So, oh, man, I got to change something. Hold on one second here. Yeah, I got to remember to do that. Yeah, still, learning the ropes here. Now, I do have a little bit of audio from the media source that is in this stream in addition to my voice. And for some weird reason, I cannot hear the audio. Like, I've put on headphones to try to see if I can figure out the right audio level. And when I put my headphones on, I get no audio whatsoever. There's just no audio. So I don't know what the levels are. I need to figure that out, but haven't had time to do that. But basically, if you guys could tell me, is the audio level for like that lone echo, for the Echo Combat video over there, is the audio too loud compared to my voice? Is it like really quiet? Anything that you guys can say as far as that would be good. Let me make sure I get my chat over here in my window to work with. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so the beginning of these shows are always going to be a little janky. That's just the way it works. Oh, only you, so can't hear from vid. That's interesting. Okay, I'm going to try turning the vid up a hell of a lot higher, and we'll see if you can hear it. So now, can you hear from the vid now? No audio from video. Yeah, figuring out OBS real time. Real time. That's interesting. You can hear my audio. You can hear my audio, but why not the video? So I just turned the video up quite a bit more. Still wondering if you... yes, a little. Now can hear it fine. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at this level for a second, and then tell me if you guys think I should have... should I lower the video sound a little bit? We're going to do some live balancing. Aim for victory. Some live balancing so we can get this thing going good. Can you hear it now, though? Quite... Oops, you're cut off there. Quite low. Okay, Steven Sales says sound good. Okay, I'm going to try... I think it is fine. I'm going to try moving it up just a little bit. Just a little bit like there, and then you guys can go ahead and tell me if you think it's a problem being that loud. Okay, so let's go ahead and get things rolling. So, the first story of the day is Echo Combat Beta number 2 starts tomorrow. And this is really good news. Obviously, we all played Echo Combat Beta the last time around. And I've said a million times, I am not a multiplayer guy. And mostly the reason is because I get into these games and I just get smoked immediately. And so besides just getting into the game and kind of checking it out, looking at it and seeing how it works, there's really not much of an incentive for me, because I would pretty much need to dedicate myself to figuring out how to play the game so I don't die immediately. And a lot of these games, I just don't go down that road, because the game isn't that incredible to me that I want to dedicate my life to it to hopefully not die in the first 5 minutes. And so that's why I stay away from a lot of these multiplayer games. But Echo Combat, when it came around the first time it had a beta, I hopped in it, and primarily I'm hopping in it because VR Roundtable, because on the VR Roundtable episode, we're going to talk about it. I got to experience it myself firsthand, and I got to see, is the Echo Combat, you know, how is this? And when I got in it, I was not expecting to like it, and I was surprised. I was quite blown away by how good. I'm going to turn the volume of the video down just a wee hair, because the problem is if I start putting other videos in there, volume might be crazy high. So yeah, we'll do that just tiny bit. We want to hear you over the video. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I don't know why my headphones give me no action to know what my levels are. That kind of is crazy. This is stuff I should learn, obviously, in my off time, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, going back to Echo Combat, the thing about Echo Combat that is interesting to me, so I got into Echo Combat and I'm like, this is freaking really good. You know, this is really cool. And it's this team-based thing, so you don't die necessarily immediately. And I mean, you don't die in regular Echo Arena. It's just I was so lackluster in Echo Arena that I feel so bad for my teammates. But Echo Combat looks really cool. But you know, the biggest thing about this news story period is one of the things that we found out about this, because I thought, I don't know if you guys are like me, I thought Echo Combat would be coming out maybe late August, maybe early September, you know, because that first beta, that thing felt like it was done. You know, it felt like it was butter smooth. Everything was working well. There was nothing wrong with it. So I thought Echo Combat, like, I thought that was going to be the full version. I thought it was going to be coming a lot sooner. But we got this quote that came out of it. It said, this weekend's open beta is the first of many scheduled throughout the rest of the year and leading up to Echo Combat's official release. Throughout the rest of the year, that tends to imply that they're going to have open betas in August, and they're going to have open betas in September, and maybe even October. When is this thing going to come out? Now, honestly, I feel like this should be out by, I would say, October, right? I mean, I thought, you know, August, September. Now, okay, maybe Halloween. You know, maybe this will come out near Halloween. What do you guys have to say about this? Let's see if I can get any kind of chat. So yeah, no comments about Echo Combat. Is nobody excited for this game? That's kind of interesting. Okay, well, no comments about Echo Combat. That's all right. Let's see, what is people talking about over here? Looking for a setup for the Rift. I just got, I was told Alienware was not good. Well, you know, Roy, Alienware, you're just going to be paying a hell of a lot for that name. Was it Dell that bought Alienware? Who bought Alienware? Somebody bought them. And I always feel like when an individual company like that gets bought out, sometimes the quality dips a little bit, and then you're gonna be way overpaying. Honestly, what I would do is, if you don't want to assemble the PC yourself, you could probably find some computer place locally that will assemble all your parts for like $65. And if you do that, you know, just building a tower, and putting Windows 10 on it and all of that, there's probably a local PC shop that could do that for about $65, maybe $75. And I still think that's the best way to go, because then what you do is you pick out your exact case, you pick out your motherboard, you pick out your memory, you pick out the GPU, and you're going to get quality components every little way down the road. That's what every time I do a new PC, I buy individual components. Now, I haven't done this since 2011. That's the last time I built a PC, but I always buy the individual components, and then that way the motherboard is going to be top of the line motherboard. The memory is going to be good memory. You know, because you go to these OEM places where they automatically build it ahead of time, And a lot of times they are like, the motherboard might be kind of crappy, the memory might be kind of you know, they'll use a good GPU or something, and they'll have certain name brands, and they'll have that Intel processor in there and stuff like that. But I really believe building your own PC is the better way to go, even if you have to pay someone else to do it. And it can be done yourself. You can watch, in fact, if you go to NeoGAF, there is a guide on, just do like NeoGAF building a new PC guide or something like that. You'll find this thread on NeoGAF where these guys have broken it down step by step. And I'm telling you, if you can go get a Lego set, and if you can put a Lego set together, you can put your PC together. It's not that hard. The hardest individual part of putting your PC together is going to be putting the thermal paste on the CPU and putting the putting the CPU in there with your fan that goes on top of your CPU. But other than that, everything is like plug and play. It's like Legos. You know, it's like a slightly more advanced version of Legos. And you can watch these videos that will just step by step, you know, take you through. But again, you could pay $65, $75, have somebody do it for you. You'll have the peace of mind, and you're still going to save money. You're still going to get better parts. But let's see, is anybody talking about Echo Combat? Okay, Fluke Rogri says, loved Lone Echo, was never bothered about Arena. I'd be more interested in Combat if it just had some pure deathmatch modes. Yeah, Fluke, have you tried it though? Because the cool thing about Echo Combat is it really is a Tron-like world, and when you're inside there, like, it is solid. It is done well. You know, this is the kind of experience that is great for showing people VR that have never been in VR before, because it really is dialed in. You know, it's really dialed in nice. IPCSK, when I was trying Echo Arena, I played one round and then couldn't connect anymore, so not much experience. Yeah, we always have problems like that, and the best thing to do is sometimes you just have to close out of everything and just try to get right back in there. Hybrid Energy says, yes, belt ones are the best. You know, you don't get any value RAM or budget parts. Yeah, it really is. It really is the way to go. You pay more, and a lot of people don't want to do it because they're scared. It's intimidating, and you're nervous, and it really is. But the only tricky part is the thermal paste. I know you guys out there know the thermal paste is the only tricky part. Fluke says the only pre-built PC I ever bought was my first, a 486 DX266. Have built all my own PCs since. Yeah, it's the way to, and it's fun. You know what? It's actually fun. It's fun to like to try to think about what parts you're going to get, and it's fun to have a budget, you know, and you have a total budget, and you got to say, okay, what percent, like if you're building a tower, you take your budget and you think, okay, how much of this budget is going to GPU, because you know that is where the vast majority of that budget is going to the GPU. And really, you got to wait. You got to wait for these new NVIDIA cards. They're going to be announced any month now, and maybe jump on one of these new NVIDIA cards. But yeah, the GPU is going to take the majority of your budget. And then the Intel CPU, assuming you go Intel. I'm not like an Intel AMD. I'm not like, I don't care so much. It's just Intel is a proven commodity to me, where AMD, I know their new CPUs have improved significantly. I'm technically not on the red team. But I'm not anti-AMD in any way with video cards as well. It's just Intel and NVIDIA are solid. You know, you're not taking chances with them. Are you overpaying? You probably are. But you know, you get Intel and NVIDIA, you're probably going to be good there. But yeah, it's fun to like think about, okay, I'm going to put this much to my motherboard. I'm going to put this much to the memory. You know, might get an SSD, or maybe I get a regular old school hard drive. Do you know, guys, I have never had a SSD in any of my computers, because the computer I have now is from 2011. I haven't added an SSD to it. I've never experienced the joy of an SSD, and I'll definitely do that for my next computer. Yeah, Crunchy is saying the GeForce 1180 is just around the corner. J Billions says Intel always seems to work better with NVIDIA. Yeah, that's true as well. It's almost like a collusion there. Chris Richardson, I bought a Dell box and slapped a 1080 Ti into it for my Rift. Warranty just ended on it, but I've not had any issues. I mean, that's another way to do it, is you buy a pre-built PC. The thing that you got to worry about, though, is like Jay, the thing that, or Chris Richardson, sorry, I'm confusing you with Jay Billions. Chris Richardson, like the only thing I would worry about that is the power supply that was in your Dell box that you slapped that 1080 Ti into, because although, you know, these new NVIDIA GPUs are better at sucking the power, like you don't need that ridiculous 800 watt power supply that you used to back in the days. That's true, but that's the one worry I have. Like, if you are going to buy pre-built, you might want to see if you can upgrade the power supply. Crunchy says SSD is the single best upgrade for a computer. Yeah, Chris Richardson says SSD will change your life, but the problem with the SSDs is they're so freaking tiny. If you want to be able to afford it, you know, 250 gigs or 500 gigs or whatever it is. And so then you have to think, okay, so am I going to put the games that I'm currently playing, you know, how am I going to partition these games? And then aren't there problems with like some of these partitioning your game library to some of these different drives? It doesn't work quite as good. It's funny how this episode has turned into let's upgrade our PC. You know, but that's the cool thing about a live episode, is like I can go completely off the script. Who gives an F? You know, we can go any way we want to go. Crunchy says there is a great feeling of pride and satisfaction I get when building my own system. Yeah, there's no question about that. It is fun. It really is. DLG27 is saying 1180 is probably going to be a grand plus. Ouch. Yeah, that is probably going to be a grand plus. I think the best value on a graphics card, if you want to try to save money, is if somehow you could get a 1080, a regular 1080 for about $400, because that's what I was looking to get a long time ago before the crypto thing exploded. And so I think if you could get a regular 1080 for $400, that could probably cover you for a while. And then you could wait for these new cards to drop in price. I mean, it's expensive. Let's be real about this, folks. We're talking about a graphics card individually by itself. It costs $1,000. Yet we want VR gaming to be mainstream. And this is a difficult thing. And I think this is part of the haterism that goes on across all these forums, is some people probably look into this VR thing, but then they think, man, if I'm going to do this VR thing, I need a freaking kick-ass PC that will just fucking smoke it. And that's like $2,000 to do that. And then you're talking about the headset and everything as well. And so, yeah, this turns into like having a freaking ski-doo in your garage. You know, this is like having a snowmobile or something, or a hot tub or something. I mean, you're getting into the $3,000-ish category if you really want state-of-the-art VR with a really good GPU that's in your PC, a brand new PC, your Rift and all of that. And that's a problem that we have. That's why, you know, the Oculus Go, I really feel when we have a device that is like the Oculus Go, but it's 6 degrees of freedom and it has 2 controllers, similar to touch with the Go, oh my goodness. And even if the graphics are like relatively craptacular, I still think that being cheap and the freedom and no wires, I think that's going to help for mass market adoption. Okay, let's see what everybody else is talking about in here. Best Buy had the Alienware 17-inch laptop with a 1080 and last-gen CPU for $1,100 on clearance. Wow, that is pretty freaking awesome. Like, that is cool, because you know what? I've thought about like backpack PCs, you know, for the whole wireless thing, you know, because if you go wireless, like if you use one of these TP casts or you get the Intel wireless thing or whatever it is, there always seems to be a little bit of interference. Then the other thing is you're sticking some contraption on the top of your head. You have to have some type of receiver somewhere that is receiving all of this. So I thought, you know, what if you could get like a super tiny laptop, and if you had something you could put on your back and you just snap the laptop into it, you know, what about that? Is that so crazy? But a lot of people are like, really? You're doing way too much to try to do a backpack PC rather than just putting a wireless thing on your head. But the thing that I think about is like, if I'm spending $400 for this wireless thing, that's $400 that could go towards like the laptop or whatever, and then it also has value there. So possible thing to think about. But why don't we get into our next story of the day? Let's see here. Next story of the day. And our next story of the day is Orbus VR. And Orbus VR is having a free weekend this weekend on Oculus. And you know, the interesting thing about Orbus VR is that VR Roundtable, we got a key from them. They gave us a key, and I got to admit, Gary went into it and he played it for a while, and I messaged Gary and I said, Gary, what do you think about Orbus VR? Because this is not really my type of thing. Should I bother with it? And he was like, eh. And I never ended up bothering with it. So I've never played Orbus VR. How lame is that? I have a key. Well, I haven't even downloaded it. And part of the reason I haven't downloaded it is because my hard drive is so freaking full. So I get to this point where I'm just thinking, do I want to delete some of my favorite VR games of all time? But I know I want to go back and play them. I just need to get like another hard drive, like an external hard drive to hook it up for that. But Orbus VR, free this weekend. If you are an Oculus owner, are you guys going to try Orbus VR? Have you already played Orbus VR? What is your take? This game ranks really high on our Oculus rankings. It's, I believe it's in the top 30 on the Vive and the Rift. Orbus VR tends to rank pretty freaking highly. So I don't know though if that is just pure MMO love. You know how there's people, they just like any MMO is going to be a great MMO because they only got one MMO. You know, this is the best MMO in VR right now, right? So they might be like, well, this is the best MMO in VR. Let's all, you know, pump this game up and almost make it better than it really is. Fluke says, I wanted to like Orbus, but it was just too janky. It's got the jank factor. That's what we always have to wonder too. All these games, do they have the jank factor? Hybrid Energy, never tried Orbus VR either. It's one of the highest selling VR games, I think. No? Yeah, I believe so. I think when Steam, when they showed, you know, recently how they kind of were talking about sales and they had like their gold, platinum, silver, whatever. I'm pretty sure Orbus VR was way the hell up there. Jay Billion says, looks underwhelming though. I'm not a huge MMO fan either. Yeah, I mean, my problem with this type of stuff is just how long is it going to take me to get into it? See, that's the thing. See, I am so freaking spoiled and have so many things that I could potentially turn on that when I think about Orbus VR, like I'll tell you what my pain point is with this game is when I think of playing Orbus VR, I think I'm going to have to spend an hour and a half just to get into this thing before I'm actually having any fun. You know, I'm gonna have to spend about an hour and a half just to figure out what the hell is going on and just kind of get into it. And I think, man, I could take that hour and a half and I could just throw that right into Seeking Dawn, or I could go back into Subnautica, or I can try some other game, you know. And so that's my problem. But the thing is, these deep games that do require some time to get into, sometimes when you really learn them, then they become absolutely fantastic, and then you get like totally addicted to it. And of course, it's the online thing. You know, you're going to be talking to other people, messaging other people, or whatever. IPCSK, I tried Orbus on previous free weekend. Meet some nice people, but overall didn't cough me that much. So, yeah, so I don't know. Wasn't really that into it. Bullet Ape doesn't look great. Crunchy, does Orbus have an end game? Do any MMOs have an end game? Or is it an MMO with never-ending grinding? Yeah, that's kind of the way MMO... Grinding is really just something to pass the time while you're like chatting with other people, really. Elder Scrolls Online VR would be cool. Yeah, I mean, eventually... See, here's the thing. I'm not this MMO guy yet. But I do believe, like, if we were to fast forward 20 years into the future... This is going to be the game that, I mean, people are just going to be playing MMOs. But basically everything, it will kind of be morphing into an MMO, and it'll be done in such a fantastic way. It really will be like you're entering into another world. And you know what they're going to have to do, though, is I think they're going to have to make AI so that when you're dealing with these other people that are online, and you need to have a button that you can turn on that will filter whatever they're saying to make it applicable to the game world. You know, almost like everybody was live role-playing or something. Because the one thing that will take you out of a game from immersion is like you hear some dude talking about, yeah, make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. You know, you hear that, and I mean, you're playing VR. You're trying to be immersed in something, you know. So... But in the future, MMOs are going to kill it. No question about it. Yeah, Ready Player One style. Okay, so yeah, Orbus VR is free this weekend. I think I will check this thing out. I mean, I'd like to try to check it out. I have to download it. But, I mean, we got a free code for it. I could try it. It's just, you know, it's that hour-and-a-half thing. Okay, let's go into story number 3. Hold on 1 second here. Oops, do not want to do that. Story number 3. Okay, so story number 3, I'm curious, is anybody else having this problem? I've had an Oculus Touch ever since the summer of Rift. You know, that one day when it hit $399 or whatever, I ran out to Best Buy that actual day. I woke up that day, had no idea that the freaking Rift was going to drop to that price, and it was like, well, fuck, you know, it's that price is just too good. I just couldn't ignore it. Ran out and I bought an Oculus Rift. So I've had a Rift that long, right? And the one thing I've noticed recently, and I'm sure this is some weird software thing, or maybe it's something that I have screwed up or something, but the thing I've noticed with my Rift is my controller batteries are dying like crazy. Let me grab these. Yeah, so I love showing these puppies. They just melt into my hand. This is like the 3rd time I've had them on these live streams. But the downside with these babies, okay, so they use a single AA battery. And when I first had the Rift, like that first month or whatever it was, I mean the first 4 or 5 months that I've had the Rift, it was all good. You know, everything was working out great. The batteries seemed to last a really long time. I would change the batteries every once in a while, but they seemed like they were lasting a really long time. But now I'll get in the headset and it's like, I just put in new batteries like 2 days ago. What the hell? So I know there's some weird thing that's going on that is like my controllers are just staying on. Even though I'm not playing the Rift all day, I have the Oculus software completely closed on my desktop. Nothing is running, but some weirdness is going on because I've been burning through AA batteries like you wouldn't believe, and don't know what that deal is, but I'm just curious if anybody else has had that problem with their Rift as far as batteries are concerned. You know, so let's go to chat and see if anybody has anything to do with these batteries. Oh, turn volume down on music. Oh shit, it's probably way too loud. Yeah, see, that's the thing, these different media sources. Oh man. Turn off the background. Yeah, you know, I wanted to have just a little bit of noise in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure this out. That sucks. You know what I need to do is I'm going to have to probably... okay, IPCSK says, I actually start using rechargeable batteries and they work okay for me. It is fine now, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know what I'm going to have to do with this sound? First of all, I need to figure out, okay, can I put headphones on and hear how loud I am and hear how loud the background is? And then what I'm probably going to have to do is before I do these videos, before I do this show, I'm probably going to have to go in and see, okay, what volume level should I have it for each of these individual trailers? That's going to suck. Get something that shows your volume levels. I have something that shows my volume levels, but well, in OBS, just right here at the bottom part of OBS, it shows like my mic volume. I have my mic volume all the way over to the right side, full blast. And then this is media source. The video is set to media source, and I have the volume way down there. It's barely even on. But anyway, Oculus Rift is pretty much the master race of VR. That is J-Pace. I don't know, bro. I'll say what I will say about the Oculus Rift. Their controllers are the best. Like, you could be a Vive lover to the end of time. The Oculus Touch controllers blow the freaking Vive wands out of the water. And that's a problem for the Vive Pro, because the Vive Pro isn't that tempting to me because I go back to these gigantic ass wands. I'll say it again, HTC, please take your wands, put them in a shrinking machine, reduce their size by 25%. You'll instantly have better controllers. They're too big. I do remember when I first got my Vive and I first got those wands, I was like, oh, these are freaking awesome. But after having the Touch for as long as I've had it, I'm sorry, we need we need the knuckles like you just would not believe. We need the new knuckles like you would not believe. You need something to normalize sound so it will try to match a decibel level. Yeah, I really do. And audio visualizer would help too. So there is a visual cue to how loud it is. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention when I put that video in. That would be nice. It would be nice if OBS had some way of like stabilizing the sound for everything, but I don't believe it has that. But anyway, that was just a quick little topic. That's obviously a non-story there. My Oculus Touch controller batteries are dying too fast. Guess nobody else is really having that issue. So let's go to story numero 4. And story number 4, let me get to it. I keep hitting the wrong... Okay, so now we're about to change to a new video. So let's see. Is our volume going to jump dramatically high? We'll have to see. Okay, so here's Beat Saber. So I'm looking at the volume on the media source. It's not higher than that last video. But yeah, so the news story number 4 is there was a tweet today on Beat Saber's Twitter, and the tweet basically says, shh, something is coming today. Hashtag so excited. So basically there is some type of Beat Saber announcement that is going to come out today. And a lot of people in the PSVR subreddit are super hyped because they believe that they are going to get a date for Beat Saber. Somebody was even saying, I think Beat Saber's coming out today. No, I think you're going to get a date. I think there's going to be pre-orders. They might as well juice it to the maximum ability. I've got a loud airplane in the background. I wonder if you guys can hear it. Hear that? That's the airplanes that I deal with all the time. But yeah, so there's going to be some huge announcement. Well, I don't know if it's huge, but there will be announcement. Beat Saber today. Honestly, one of the things that I think is going to be announced as far as Beat Saber is I believe it's the arcade thing, because they recently came out with a story that they are going to have an arcade solution for VR arcades. Now I got a phone going off in the other room. I'm sure you guys do hear that. I'm going to close this door real quick. Sorry about that. I wanted to keep that door open because it makes it cool. And I hear the phone. Yeah, Crunchy, you do hear the phone. Have to go for lunch. Bye, fellow VR nerds. All right, Jay, check you out later. Jay, you know what you should try for lunch? Has anybody tried Jersey Mike subs? Jersey Mike subs. Oh my God, the number 2, a regular size number 2, those are really good subs. I love the pickles. I love the tomatoes, the onions, really good. But yeah, okay, so Beat Saber, there is an announcement probably coming today. What I believe it will be is the arcade support, because I know that all these VR arcade owners out there have been wondering, when can I license Beat Saber? When can I license Beat Saber? And there has been no licensing available for Beat Saber for VR arcades, period, whatsoever. So if you've ever gone to a VR arcade and they were using Beat Saber, they were using it 100% illegally. They don't have the rights to do that. They don't have the licensing to do that. And so a ton of VR arcade operators have been like, please, Beat Saber, Hyperbolic Magnetism. I guess they changed their name now to Beat Games. So no longer Hyperbolic Magnetism, or is Beat Games like a parent company over Hyperbolic Magnetism? Not sure what is going on with that. But basically, I think we're going to get a breakdown on the the licensing for arcades. Another possibility, of course, is PSVR date, a date for the PSVR version. Yeah, Jay Pace, Jersey Mike subs. I'm telling you, baby, Jersey Mike subs. We haven't had Jersey Mike subs in Sacramento, California until like just this last year. And there's this brand new shopping center that was opened like a couple miles down the way, and they got all kinds of little food places there, which is cool because we didn't have any food places hardly. And Jersey Mike's is there. Never tried Jersey Mike's in my life, and oh my goodness, those subs are damn good because they slice the meats right there, they slice the cheese right there, and their lettuce and their onions, but the pickles are to die for. Delta Shores. Hey, Crunchy, are you in Sacramento? Maybe you're in Sacramento, because, yeah, the Delta Shores little area, they have all kinds of little shops right there. They got movie theaters and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, we're going to get some kind of announcement for, he lives in Elk Grove. Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll have to kick back one time, bro. So basically, Beat Saber, we might get some kind of announcement for this. I know you guys are probably not that hyped on Beat Saber because you've already been playing it all this time. But if you own a PlayStation VR and you've never had Beat Saber, it's still a pretty big deal. Okay, let's go to our next story. This is the final little story that I had preloaded here. I always do the same thing. Okay, gotta highlight this video. So now we're gonna switch to another video. We'll see what the volume happens with this one. See how the volume works. Luckily, the volume looks a little higher on this one, so I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm going to bring the volume down a little bit there. Okay. Yeah, so far, one of the good things I have seen with all these videos is they've all just fit that size. So I haven't had to resize a video this whole show. Oh, now he's saying no sound again. No sound for video. Because it's showing me in OBS that it has sound. Okay, I'm going to turn it up. Try turning it up. I can't hear anything but Anthony. Okay, I'll try turning it up quite a bit louder. So yeah, this sound thing is going to be a problem, apparently, until I figure it out. Last two videos have had no sound. Still no sound. Okay, I'm going to try turning this way the hell up and then tell me if there's still no sound. Oh, down a little. Okay, so now you're... God, so weird. So weird. I'm going to have to figure out all these sounds. Oh, too loud. Okay, now I'm back. This is real-time mixing. Down a lot. Okay. How funny. This is going to be a shit show for people watching and cut in half. Okay, I'm going down. I'm going back down. Okay, is this okay? That's funny. Yeah, it does sound like Stranger Things. That's what, okay, so what we're looking at here, this video that is over here, this is The Inner Friend by Playmind. And so the reason I wanted to bring this game up is because I was looking at all these games that are eventually coming out to PlayStation VR. And this was one that I saw, and I was like, this looks kind of cool. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I like the visual style. I like the sound in the trailer. It does remind me of Stranger Things. It kind of has this weird, you know, weird kind of dream world thing going on, which I'm always cool with that. In fact, so this is called The Inner Friend. Now, this is actually coming to like Xbox, PlayStation 4. It has a flat version. A VR version is coming to PSVR, but I don't know if a VR version of this is coming to Steam or Oculus. So this could be, the VR version of this could be PSVR only. It does look like it's third person. It's called The Inner Friend. It does look like it's third person and lower a bit. So, oh, maybe a touch lower. Okay, so the volume is still too high. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure this thing out, guys, tomorrow. Before I do tomorrow's show, I'm gonna try to figure out the volume deal. The Inner Friend on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Developer is Playmind. And they have a little thing here I was gonna read that kind of talks about the game. So it says, led by a mysterious shadow, the player encounters dreams and nightmares inhabiting its materialized subconscious universe. Diving into its world, the player is a witness to the shadow's childhood memories, collecting them to restore what was once its safe haven. Together, the player and the shadow journey always deeper, unraveling a rich but wordless story. But every journey has to end. What secrets hide in its darkness corners? So yeah, it's basically like you're kind of, it's like it's happening in your subconscious mind, and the shadow is basically your subconscious mind. And so you go on this journey with the shadow, and you know, you're trying to witness the shadow's childhood memories, restore them to the safe haven that it used to be. So I don't know, but for me, when I look at it, it kind of reminds me of Bound. Did anybody play Bound on PlayStation VR? I think Bound is so crazy underrated. The camera is really janky in Bound. You have to learn to deal with the camera, but I don't know, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bound. It looks very, very kind of mysterious and stuff, so I kind of like the look of it. Let's see what people are talking about over here. The upside down, yeah, is a little loud yet, so it's still loud. So it must be I pass a certain volume threshold and then it's still crazy loud. Like it was no volume at all, and then now it's crazy loud. Bound is amazing, has new camera updates. Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, I don't advise anybody to use the new cameras that they added to Bound. I think it actually kind of ruins it. You have to just deal with this what Bound is doing is the director themselves wants control of the camera, and you got to just let the director have control of the camera. And the thing that's unsettling about that is your perspective will switch pretty dramatically, and you know, it might catch you off guard when you're in VR, but if you can deal with it and acclimate to it, I think that's the better way to play Bound. I love Bound. Visuals in Bound are crazy. I think it's a really uncelebrated game. Okay, Bullet Ape. Sick of all the exclusives to PSVR, Oculus, etc. PlayStation the worst for it. Bad for VR. Yeah, you know, Bullet Ape. Okay, I'm turning down the volume even more. You know what would be nice on this volume lever if it gave you like a specific number? You know, like I'm at volume 79 right now. I'm going to turn the volume down to 58. Like, why don't they just put numbers on here? The original camera killed Bound for me. Not been back since they updated the camera. Yeah, I mean, the original camera, it does work. You have to adjust to it. You know, you have to, and I've let some people try Bound and they just couldn't deal with it right away. So I don't know, maybe it's just you got to get acclimated. Let's see here. I wonder if it's still loud. Is the volume still loud? But yeah, I just thought this was kind of cool, and you don't hear anybody talking about this, The Inner Friend by Playmind. Hopefully it does come to Steam. Looks kind of cool. We'll have to see what happens with that. Okay, so those were the news stories that I had at this point in time. But what we can do now is I'm going to go ahead and chop this volume way the hell down. Now you probably don't hear it whatsoever. And what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and bounce over to Reddit real quick, and let's see if there's any brand new news stories that are popping out. You can check that real quick. Okay, Apex Construct, any good? I think Apex Construct is good. I like Apex Construct. Don't know about you guys, but I like it. Let's see. Cheapest way to order 3-in-1 cable. I think you just go to Amazon, right? It's $39.99 at Amazon. That would be the best place to get it. I wouldn't even bother with HTC. Unreal Engine 4.20 released. Improved SteamVR performance. Yeah, this one is pretty good. It adds like a baked-in mixed reality capture. Does some interesting things. My question is, when will we actually see this? Like, when will we see a game that shows the Unreal Engine 4.20, that kind of gives us a sample of what that looks like. Early footage of Crash Bandicoot in VR. Wow, that's pretty sweet. I would love to play some, emulators in VR are pretty cool as long as you don't have to like jump through ridiculous hoops to get them up and running. I still got to try the Doom on Oculus, the Doom with the actual controllers. Okay, so just bounced over to the Oculus subreddit. It's saying Orbus VR free this weekend. We already know about that. What upcoming VR games are you looking forward to? Let's go ahead and hop into this and see what people are talking about. Stormland, Echo Combat, Untitled Respawn game, Defector, Marvel Powers United VR, Blunt Force, Torn, Space Junkies, Firmament. Yeah, I mean all of those sound good. I'm looking at some other people. They've got Twilight Path, Wolves in the Walls, which is actually, that's a video thing. Allison Road. Wait, and he's saying, is Allison Road coming to VR? Nope. Gavin told me a dream that Half-Life 3, Left 4 Dead 3, and Portal 3, a holy trinity of trilogies. Yeah, that would be freaking cool, wouldn't it? Echo Combat, Vox Machina. No one has mentioned Zero Caliber, Space Junkies, Echo Combat. Yeah, so on this list, I mean, the interesting thing is Blunt Force. I don't know if you guys have seen the Blunt Force trailer. Actually, I could probably get that trailer and then copy it in. It'll just take a second here. But basically, there's a game called Blunt Force, and Blunt Force originally it was being G2A. G2A was bringing the game out, and we had heard about this game like a million freaking years ago, and now it's being published by Monad Rock, whatever the heck Monad Rock is. I almost wonder if that's just a renaming of G2A or something like that, because it was being published by G2A, and it's a World War II game. And so you're like a World War II. You're a spy. In part of the game, you're a spy, and you're kind of like sneaking around and doing that type of thing. And then in the other part of the game, you are you're a soldier, and so it's kind of like two separate storylines that are going on simultaneously. The graphics look freaking awesome. The graphics look really incredible. So I'm trying to download that trailer right now. Let me go back to chat. Persistence. Yeah, Persistence is coming next week. Stormland is certainly at the top of my most wanted at the moment. That is Fluke. You know, I mean, honestly, can there be a game ranked higher than Stormland? Why would anybody not be? I'm just impressed Anthony can mention Space Junkies without bursting into flames. Yeah, I still don't like these stores. I don't like stores attached to video games. Basically, for me, that little rant, like if I wanted to sum up that rant really quick, the way I would sum up that rant is, if you're going to have a store, you need to have a hardware platform. That's my answer to that rant. If you're going to have a store, have a hardware platform. If you don't have a hardware platform, get the hell out of Dodge. That's my. And okay, you can say, yeah, but what about Steam? Steam doesn't have a hardware platform. Well, Steam, they got there first. Okay, first movers advantage. They don't need a hardware platform because they were the first puppies to arrive, and they took well advantage of it. Okay, so now we just switched to this video blunt force. So I want you guys in chat, I need your help to tell me about audio levels once you start seeing this. I have it pretty low. I'll get back to chat in a second. Well, I have a couple questions in chat I can answer, but can somebody tell me about the audio level for this blunt force trailer? Steam was forced on us, though. Yeah, but they got away with it. They did it so many years ago. It's first mover's advantage. Okay, can't hear it. No sound. Okay, I'm going to try pumping the volume up to there, and I'll leave it there until I can find out. Okay, so I've just moved the volume. Tell me if you can finally hear the volume. I don't want to overpower everybody. Okay, we're still saying no audio so far. There. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah, I've changed the audio. Can hear it now. Okay, is this a little too low? Maybe should I up it a little bit, or is volume pretty decent? Stay there. Okay, we'll just stay there. That's good. Okay, I got to get back to some of these questions that were back here. Okay, Roy had a question. Anthony, please let me know your opinion on Firewall. I pre-ordered it, and I'm not sure what to expect. So I might get Firewall, more so because of the aim controller. I still don't have an aim controller, and I want to get an aim controller. But I'll be honest, Firewall, that's not my thing. Again, I'm not a multiplayer guy, and anytime I get into multiplayer games, I'm the guy that drags the rest of the team down. I don't know, maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because like I just assume I'm going to be shitty at multiplayer games, and therefore I am shitty, and I don't give any of them a real fair chance, and so therefore I never get halfway good. You know, it's kind of like a, it's one of those things, right? But Firewall, I mean, it's highly anticipated. A lot of people are really hyped about that. That is August 28th. It is a while away, but I have not gotten an aim controller. Target had a deal where they had the aim controller with Farpoint for $59.99. I should have bought one. I was a complete idiot not to buy one. That was a great deal. If I see that deal again, I will buy it immediately. But if I don't see that deal, I'm probably going to get the Firewall 0 hour bundle for $79.99, because you're basically you're paying $20 extra, because the gun is $59.99 by itself. So you're paying $20 extra, you get Firewall. So even if I don't like it, I could just throw it on Craigslist or something. Okay, I wanted to go back and see some of these other things. So Sparhawk says, Xbox announcing new hardware at Gamescom next month, hoping to finally get VR support. Really? Why would they be announcing new hardware? That seems bizarre to me. Interesting. Marvel VR. So David Cole is still excited for Marvel VR. Roy is saying, what? Crash in VR? Yeah, it's a, it's a emulator, so it's not like real Crash in VR. Sony could do that for us. Why they don't? Like, Sony should go back and look at their back catalog of games, and they should think, which of our back catalog of games really makes sense in VR? Now, they did that with Wipeout, and Wipeout is so freaking awesome. You people out there that don't have a PlayStation VR and you cannot experience Wipeout, you guys are boned. You guys are seriously boned, because Wipeout is legit. Now, Wipeout is a game where you're sitting in a chair, you're holding a controller, and I know people, they want to have their hands in the games and everything, but it is a racing game, so I mean, it makes sense from that standpoint. But Wipeout VR, that is masterful. Like, I have nothing but love for Wipeout VR. But I mean, they looked at their back catalog. One of the old Sony games that I think would absolutely be perfect for VR is, God, what was it called? It was a tank game. Assault Rigs. It looked like Tron. You were in these Tron-like tanks. This is back in PlayStation 1 days. I think Assault Rigs would be great. I think Jumping Flash would be really cool in VR. Let's see what else people are talking about over here. Valve's 3 games with Knuckles. I mean, obviously, everybody and their mom is hoping for that. And honestly, we really should... Like, I don't think we're going to get 3 of those games at a time, but wouldn't you think we'd get one of them relatively soon? Like 2018? Am I crazy to think that one of those Valve games would come this year, 2018, maybe November? But see, Knuckles is going to have to come right alongside it. GTA 6 VR by 2019. Yeah. Now that is the game, if it was done really, really, really well in VR, that is a game that could move the needle right there. I think that is optimistic, Crunchy is saying about GTA 6. Yeah, well, I don't think Take-Two, I don't think they would have to invest so many millions of dollars to make that VR and good in VR. Don't think it's going to happen. Not anytime soon. It's unfortunate. Okay, so I'm trying to catch back up with all these chats. We were dealing with the audio at this point. Twisted Metal in VR. Yeah, Twisted Metal in VR. Don't let me get started about porting Sony games. Yeah, Roy, he probably knows a lot of games he'd love to see ported. But I'm telling you, Assault Rigs. If you guys don't know about Assault Rigs, that is a hidden gem on PlayStation 1. Why there isn't a Mech Warrior in VR yet? Yeah, have you tried the Archangel Hell's, what is it called again? The Archangel update, the free update. Have you tried that? It's not that bad. I mean, I wouldn't call it Mech Warrior in VR. It's probably more arcadey than that. But then we also have Vox Machina. There was a demo available for that at one point. So let me see if I can find a different trailer to go to. Because we've been running that trailer for a minute here. You know what? See, I cleaned out this one folder I had. I had a ton of videos, all different kinds. And I cleaned it out. But you know what? I'll throw in this other video real quick. Been running this video too long. So here comes a new video, which is a new chance for the sound to just overwhelm everyone. So I'm going to back the sound down a little bit here. This is Marvel Powers United VR. I mean, this game is coming out next week. I can tell you that going into 2018, this was like one of the biggest games ever going into 2018. Now the hype level has kind of fallen off of it a little bit, because obviously Stormland is like that's the most hyped Oculus game now, of course. But Marvel Powers United VR, it is coming. I'm curious, is this volume way too loud? Okay, Vox Machina looks the closest, but is missing the heart of Mech Warrior. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get what you really want until somebody sits down and makes a real detailed version of that. Archangel is more Quake Warrior than Mech Warrior, but it's still fun. Terry Blanchard says, if Take-Two did release GTA 6 VR, it has the absolute potential in becoming the next Oasis. Yeah, but it also has the potential of bankrupting them, because they'd have to spend crazy millions to really do that right. I don't think they're going to do that until VR has already like solidified into a stronger thing than what it is right now. Chris Richardson, I've got too many on my backlist to give Marvel my dough. Yeah, that would be me if I didn't have a channel like this and wasn't on VR Roundtable and all of that. I would not probably grab this game right away unless like people were just raving about it crazy style, and it wasn't just Marvel fans raving about it, or like Oculus Rift supporters. There really is a fanboyism that goes on. It is so bizarre to me that there's legitimately a fanboyism, because you have to imagine Oculus owners and Vive owners. What is the average age of an Oculus Rift owner and an HTC Vive owner? I would say the average age is over 30 probably. Yet we still have a significant amount of fanboyism. And I always thought that fanboyism was something that would be really strong in your teenage years and maybe your early 20s. But I thought by the time people got to 30, they would get over fanboyism. Like, I personally do not believe that I have fanboyism towards like brand names. Like, I don't really care. Now, I will be a fan of a brand when they've done something great, but I'm not like, I don't get into these camps. I mean, I try to think that I don't. Maybe I do from a just look at sports. Yeah, but I mean, that's a team. That you're behind a team. You're rooting for a team. Chris Richardson says people get set in their ways. Like, that isn't very true. Yeah, people do get set in their ways, and you can change, but man, it is not a common thing. People don't change very much. I'm going to go back into my other folder here just to see if there's any other little videos I can throw up. Anything that is relevant. I was trying to look for a persistence video. I thought maybe I had a persistence video saved, but could not find it. So, don't have my, don't know where my, I erased a bunch of these folders. Now I'm just going to spend too much time looking for something else to play, so never mind. But yeah, I don't know, guys. We've been running here for about an hour now, so maybe I'll just go ahead and call it. Let me take a last look at chat over here to see what else people are talking about. Argentina VR. With Revive, could I play this Marvel game? Probably, but would you want to? See, I really feel like Revive, you're missing 20% of the experience by playing through Revive. Usually. Crunchy says, fanboyism of all ages. Charles Van Nolan, young people can't afford VR. I don't know. Shit, you go play Echo Combat or Echo Arena, you'll hear a lot of young voices. You go play Rec Room, you'll hear a lot of kids running around in there. It's probably their dad's VR thing. Oh, Bullet Ape, you are a Magic Leap fanboy, Golem lover. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I guess if I was a fanboy of something, it'd be Magic Leap, but I'm a fanboy up until I find out what the hell is going on. But I'm not a fanboy of them because there's something magical about Magic Leap. I just love Roni Abovitz. You know, I'm a fanboy because I want some. I mean, okay, I'm explaining my fanboyism. I'm a fanboy of Magic Leap because I'm a fanboy of there being some new thing that would come out that would freaking blow our socks off. That's what I'm a fanboy of. And I think it's about time. I mean, this is 2018. And I think there should be some revolutionary thing that should happen soon. I mute Rec Room every time, yeah. I'm highly suspect of Roni and company. You know, one thing that's interesting about Roni, though, that I think a lot of people miss, Bullet Ape. So a lot of people will bring up Theranos. And is it Jennifer Holmes or whatever the lady was that ran Theranos? And there's a big difference between her and Roni Abovitz, because Roni Abovitz created this company called Mako Surgical Corp, M-A-K-O, Mako Surgical Corp. And he sold that company. Well, it's not just him. There was, some other founders of that company, but he was one of the founders. They sold that company for $1.65 billion. So it's not like Roni just came from an underpass freeway and just created a company out of nowhere. This guy's done some shit. So this guy has some chops. So the real question is, we got into that yesterday. We don't need to do that again. Fluke Rogi is saying, been regularly playing VR since the DK1 and wouldn't mind some new hardware that would blow my mind all over again. Yeah, that's my opinion of it. And I still love VR. Like, I'm never stopped. Like, VR is going to continue to be incredible. VR can do a lot of things Magic Leap is never going to be able to do. And then you look at like the HTC Vive Pro, they put those little cameras on there. I mean, I don't know what's really stopping VR from being able to do almost everything that AR is doing. It's just the way the light is hitting your eyes, I guess. So there's that. So yeah, I don't know. I guess this will probably go ahead and work it for today's episode, I suppose. So yeah, these episodes, they're going to be kind of like anything's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen, right? I don't know what's going to happen. Alrighty, folks. Well, that's basically going to go ahead and wrap it up for this version of Daily Vlog Live. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 10 a.m. See you guys then.